Welcome to the Hot Seat. I'm your host, Maggy Martinez, and today we ask the question that matters to the people they want to represent. Fayette County continues to grow, bringing new opportunities, but also serious questions about development, traffic, infrastructure, public safety, taxes, and how we preserve the quality of life that makes this community a great place to live. My guest today is Chandra Wright. She is the candidate for the Fayette County Commissioner District 3. Chandra brings a background in technology, public safety, and policy, and planning and development. She began her professional career at AT&T Bell Lab and earned a Master of Science in Computer from the Illinois Institute of Technology. After moving to Peachtree City, she worked in the city's planning and development, gaining experience with land management and local government. She later earned a Master of Public Policy from Georgia State University. Her campaign focused on three major priorities: public safety, smart growth, and protecting Fayette County's quality of life. Today, we are going beyond the campaign slogans to find out what those priorities will actually mean for the residents of Fayette County. So let's dive in.
Present Starbound Studios starring Maggy Martinez and the Hot Seat Interview. Y ahora con ustedes, Maggy Martinez en Caliente.
Welcome, Chandra, to the Hot Seat Interview.
Hi, Maggie. How are you? I'm so excited to be here.
Oh, yeah. You're excited. This is about to get hot because...
Feeling the heat already.
Because especially with the data centers, yes. People are concerned, and I know your opponent, James Clifton, has made opposition to data centers. So do you agree with James Clifton that Fayette County should say no to data centers?
I operate on facts, not fear. I agree. My opponent has spent a lot of time focused on his opposition to data centers, and I understand him. I understand why people would resonate with that. We are concerned about the amount of water consumption. We are concerned about the amount of energy used to power those data centers. We are certainly thinking about things like what's the impact on traffic and the infrastructure and noise. All of these things are concerning to us, and because the data centers are getting built so quickly, we really haven't had the time.
So close to the communities.
So close to the communities.
I don't understand that.
Yeah, it's interesting how that happens. So I understand why he is focused on that. I understand why people would support him in that, but I deal in facts. And the truth of the matter is this. The commissioners do not make the decision around data centers. We are there to provide knowledge, and we can bring community voice to the topics. We can bring informed advocacy, but we do not vote on whether to bring a data center in or not. We can influence. And the leaders of Peachtree City, the mayor and the council, have been very clear on the fact that the annexation study that they just completed actually had nothing to do with bringing in a data center, and they have been clear on the fact that that is not their intention. So I just want to reiterate that we have to deal in facts. We have to let the people of District 3 and the community know that these are the facts, this is the information that we have, and let's continue the conversation so that we can make informed decisions about data centers moving forward.
Thank you. We bring the best of the best to the Hot Seat Interview. She's the Democratic nominee for the position. It's important that you visit her website and know everything about her. Well, I wrote a book. It's called The Secrets of Campaigning, So You Think You Could Run, available on Amazon, because, Chandra, you know how candidates go through a lot, right?
Oh, yeah, they do. We do.
So it's important that you buy it to support the show. Buy it for somebody that is running for office. Why reinvent the wheel? It's already here, 40 years of experience. Or buy it for your daughters to do what? To develop leadership. buy it for yourself so you know what they go through. It's important. It's on Amazon, only $25, because we need to buy equipment. We have to keep up with technology, and we want to keep this conversation going, so it's important. If you feel it in your heart and you want to make a donation, you could visit starboundpr.com. Thank you for AJ Jane. From the bottom of my heart, he sent a huge donation. We were able to put this lab up to date, so thank you so much. But don't forget to make those donations. And also, it's important, Chandra, that people subscribe to the show, because the algorithm of YouTube works like that. If you don't subscribe to the show, well, nothing is going to happen. So tell your friends about it.
Let's
and
subscribe. Let's subscribe. Yes.
Yeah.
Let's subscribe, everybody.
Yeah. Well, Chandra, Fayette County has voted across political spectrum, right?
Yes.
And we say political spectrum, Democrats, Republican, Independent. May agree with you on the local issue, but hesitate to vote for a Democrat. So what will you tell the people out there why it's important to vote for you?
Well, I want to tell voters that it's important that you vote for the person who is going to do the job and do it in a way that is going to benefit you. I am a facts-based person. I said earlier, I'm going to continue to say that. I like to operate based on information, on knowledge and research. I also am a huge believer that the way that we connect with our communities and our constituents is by listening to them. So it's important that we listen. And finally, it's so I live in District 3. So I care about this community. I care that we protect and we improve our quality of life. So those are the three pillars that I stand on, and that has nothing to do with partisanship and has everything to do with me being able to lead and govern based on those three principles. You know, Maggie, we have quite a bit going on in Fayette County and
Yes.
throughout the state. This issue of data centers, traffic concerns, new development ideas, countywide needs, all of those things are critical, and we do not have time for any elected officials who are not going to make decisions based on what their constituents want and based on facts and knowledge. So that's what I'm all about, and that's why the voters in Fayette County District 3 should vote for me.
Well, and that takes us to the next question, because Chandra has a background in technology, community development, which this is a plus, and planning and public policy. So it's not a person that comes to the job with no experience. So why are you running for Fayette County Commissioner now, and what makes you the right person to represent District 3, especially in the times that we are living right now?
Oh, you know, I have been working on evolving myself now for about 3 or 4 years. I've spent, as I stated, I had a wonderful experience working within the Planning and Development Department of Peachtree City, where I really grew exponentially in understanding how we managed land, how we planned comprehensively, how development worked with staff within local government, worked with politicians, worked with the people. It's important that we understand that. And based on that experience, that is really what propelled me to go and pursue a master's of degree in public policy, because I understand at this point that if you do not have good policy in place,
That's right.
and that policy doesn't just look at one point in time, you have to think about the unintended consequences that could happen. You have to think about how is this going to promote the economy. You have to think about how is this going to impact the community. What do the people in the community feel and think? How is this going to work as you're dealing with your neighboring municipalities and counties? Most of the time, we can't do things in silo. We have to do it with a collaborative spirit. We
That's
have to
right.
be able to work across borders and work with our delegation and work with state representatives and work with federal agents. So these are the things that I have spent the last 3 to 4 years focused on, and I am ready to take all of that experience and knowledge and put it to work for the people of Fayette County and District 3. And I will tell you this, Maggie, I am a public servant.
That's right.
I think we are really at a point where we do not need people, elected officials, who are not connected to the community, who are not in the position to serve the community.
That's right.
Right? And that's the heart that I possess. So I think I have the knowledge, I have the experience, and I have the heart to serve the people of District 3.
And not only that, you're willing to work across the aisle, like we say, with the community and the Republicans and the independent. It doesn't matter because once you get elected, you are going to work for the whole community.
Absolutely.
And this is so important so people in District 3 understand.
Absolutely.
Well,
there are no Republican streets or Democrat streets. There's no Republican infrastructure or Democratic. The water tastes the same to Republicans and Democrats. So
Right.
yes, this is about the people,
That's
all
right.
of them.
Chandra, smart growth is one of the central themes of your campaign. Certainly, we talk a lot about this, but we have to define what really is smart growth, and so people understand.
Yeah. I think the better way to say that is to say that I am going to listen to my constituents. There are so many issues that we need to understand in order to make solid decisions about the problems that we face right now and the things that we want. It's better to understand the needs and desires of the community before you're making any decisions on how you want to evolve.
That's right.
Let me give you a little bit of insight behind what I'm talking about. If you look at the ratio of residential homes to commercial homes, within Peachtree City and within Fayette County, you will see that Peachtree City has a much larger gap in terms of ratio. I think we're closer to like a 70, 60, high 60s in residential and maybe around 10% in commercial. And if you look at the data, it will show that the cost of services for a commercial building is much lower than for a residential. As a matter of fact, for every dollar of services, you're going to pay a little bit more. The residents will pay a little bit more than the commercial properties will. They'll pay less than $1, and residential homes will pay more for that dollar of service. So we really do have to understand that when I'm talking to you, voters and constituents, when I am coming to explain to you, here are the services that you have the benefit of getting. This is the cost of it. This is what it takes to have those services. And we are talking about what needs to change. What property should we be reusing? What new recreation things should we be bringing in? These are the things that have to be discussed, and a decision has to be made on how you want to alter that mix
Right.
of commercial and residential. And those are the types of conversations that we have to have when we're deciding how we want to evolve and grow and change.
That's excellent. Well, should developers pay more? Because, they bring a development, but they're not willing to do the sidewalks. They're not willing to do the landscaping. If you're going to bring a development within Fayette County, it needs to look already like it is right now. It's
Absolutely.
beautiful. So
Absolutely.
do you believe developers should carry more of the financial responsibility for infrastructure?
Well, I think that's a nuance that we need to talk about. I will say that with my experience working in the Planning and Development Department of Peachtree City, there were some pretty stringent requirements on what developers had to do. They had to make sure that the landscaping was going to look a certain way at the end of that development. They
Right.
had to make sure that the signage adhered to a very strict level of guidelines. They had to build in a certain way and adhere to certain ordinances, and I think that's good. That's good policy for the county and for Peachtree City. But we also have to measure that against how do we keep businesses coming into our county, into our district, because we want to make sure that we are getting those resources for our constituents. We want to make sure that we are providing them with the services and goods and activities and recreation that they want as citizens of Fayette County. And in order to attract them, you have to make sure that the cost isn't too astronomical. So it's a balance. It's a balance of trying to figure out how much is too much and how little is too little, and how are you going to attract those developers and have them to do the things that you need them to do to keep your community the way it is. I will say, Maggie, as a final word, that I am very, very committed to making sure that we continue to protect and improve our quality of life. And if the developers are not going to do that, then we're not serving the needs of the residents and the citizens of District 3 in Fayette County. So that is a must.
Yeah, and we want to keep those restaurants like Frank's City Cafe beautiful because, every time we have an anniversary, that's where we go. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And my doctors, they all in Peachtree City, so we want to keep it that way.
We love it. We love those new restaurants, and we love them to look good, and we like things to be pretty. So having that community be beautiful is a must.
It must.
Yes.
It must. Well, we already saw an improvement on the roads, especially the cross area right there going to Newnan, right? That has been improved, but what specific action should Fayette County commissioners take to address the traffic and transportation right now?
Oh, traffic is one of those issues that I have been hearing about since the moment I hit Georgia, especially in Peachtree City. It's something that we all care about. I am certainly not an engineer. I will say that up front, but I do have an opinion on this, Maggie.
Right.
I really do feel as if there are 3 ways that you impact traffic. This is not, in my opinion, rocket science. Some of my engineers out there might not agree with me, but either you are going to improve the flow of your traffic, you are going to take cars off of the highway, off the streets, or you are going to provide a bypass.
Right.
That's kind of it, And so as we're having these conversations with citizens of Fayette County and District 3, and we're having conversations with the Georgia Department of Transportation and all of the surrounding neighborhoods and counties and municipalities, we have got to come up with solutions that are going to address that. And if we are not willing, my opinion, again, another one, everyone should walk away from that table a little unhappy. There is no perfect solution to traffic, right? But if we sit down and we determine that, hey, if you give a little bit here and you give a little bit there, we can at least relieve the traffic. I think that is something we all
I love the golf cart in Peachtree City. That's one option. The other option, the small roads for motorcycles or for bicycles.
Right.
So that's something that is already in the infrastructure of Peachtree City. So let's continue doing that. But at the same time, we could use the same access to bring other sorts of transportation without having to use your car, because that's the thing. Yeah.
I am so glad you said that. We have 100 miles of golf cart path in
A lot of
Peachtree
people
City.
don't know that.
100 miles. And do you know that we have 11,000 golf carts that travel those paths?
I love it.
And one of the things that we're talking about, Maggie, is how, possibly taking a look at how can we expand that mode of transportation throughout Fayette County. Some people, I've talked to voters who don't like the idea, and I've talked to voters who love it. So I think that conversation that we're having around expanding on that asset throughout the county is one that we need to have.
Definitely.
Yeah, and other things as well. Anything that can get the live, work, play scenarios, mixed use scenarios where people can get where they need to get without getting in a car. Those are all things that we have got to look at and talk about and decide on.
There are great examples in Cobb County, so you just need to do like a little public hearing over there to check it out.
Yes. Well, the opportunities are vast, and I think I'm excited about the opportunity to actually have those conversations with people and come up with solutions that really are going to have an impact on the community.
Excellent. Well, taxes, property taxes, this is something that We need to talk about affordability. We have higher insurance premiums, utility, groceries, and other household expenses. Under what circumstances would you vote for property tax, property increase, or are you against it?
Well, one of the, I am very much committed to protecting, again, and improving our quality of life. And part of protecting that quality of life is keeping our expenses down.
Right.
So I would say that the current Board of Commissioners in Fayette County have done a really good job of managing the county fiscally. Since 2013, they have either lowered or kept our millage rates at the same level. And just by doing that, they have saved residents of Fayette County over $100 million.
Wow.
Which is nothing to sniff at. They have done a great job, and they've done that while maintaining about $20 million in reserve fund. So if you look at the finances of Fayette County, it is strong.
Healthy.
Very healthy. I have no complaints. And I would let my voters know that I am interested in continuing that mode of making sure that we manage that we're very fiscally responsible as it relates to spending tax dollars. But I'm about facts over fear. And I will say that there may be situations where we have to consider raising taxes. If there is a natural disaster and the expenses exceed that which are provided by federal and state dollars, that will be something that would have to be considered. If there are some infrastructure needs that are critical to us, that we have to, if there are public safety issues that have to be addressed, we may at some point in our future be in a situation where public safety is at risk and we have to expend dollars to address that. So there will always, I think, be situations where we have to stop and take a look and say, is this is raising additional revenue a need? However, I will tell you this. I promise all voters that would never happen without me doing my very best to find resources in other places. I would, in concert with the other commissioners, look at every line item on the existing budget, make sure that we don't have opportunities for local option sales tax solutions where we can, broaden the amount of people who we're pulling those tax dollars from other than just property owners. And of course, looking for grant dollars and federal dollars and all the other places that we can look to try and find revenue other than out of the pockets of our taxpayers.
State Economic Development Department.
Absolutely, absolutely. And we have an Economic Development Authority that has a robust budget. So there are other places where we can look for dollars if it is needed. But my last resort rather would always be, I do not want to increase the property tax of our.
Yes, we don't need no more taxes.
Yeah, no more taxes if we can help it. Absolutely not.
Well, your professional background in technology distinguish you from your many candidates for local office, and how will you use technology background to really modernize Fayette County?
Yeah, that is such an interesting question. I am very interested in making sure that our quality of life continues to be improved. And I would say that the clerk of Fayette County's clerk of court has done a really good job with modernizing the e-filing system. I think that they are also working on some improvements on our on the website, and all of that is so important because I do like to make sure that constituents can perform the things they need to perform without putting cars on the highway. If we can do those things from a technological perspective on computers, that's always a better way to do it.
Communication is key, right?
Communication is key. But, I have thought about a few things.
Yes.
One of the things that I am concerned about these days is this issue of citizens getting warned early enough when we have weather.
Oh, yeah.
issues, when we have when we have these storms that rise up so quickly, and they're
lately
violent.
it's raining every day.
Rain, right? Or if we have these flash floods that come out of nowhere. I mean, it just seems as if the weather patterns are getting more violent and changing. And
That's El Nino.
That concerns me. It concerns me. And so I do. I know that we have multiple layers of alert systems already, federal, county, and state, but there are grant dollars out there that would help us to take a look at ways that we can modernize that and make it even more accessible.
Put it up to technology with AI and everything that is happening.
Exactly. I mean, like, for example, we have 35 sirens right now in Fayette County that go off if we have a storm alert that we're trying to alert people. But everyone is aware that that's really for people who are outside. It's not necessarily for the people who are indoors. And it's highly possible that we might not hear those sirens, right? Mm-hmm. So it's very important that we get technology that is going to be able to send that to us wirelessly to our smartphones and other mechanisms.
Look what happened in Venezuela.
Yes.
So a lot of people got a notice through the phone, and they were able to get out of the buildings before they collapsed.
Absolutely.
Isn't that awesome?
It's awesome. And the technology is there, and the dollars are there to help us to trial some of those systems. So when I think about modernization and technological change, those are the types of things that I think about. I also think about we have, 100 miles of golf cart path now. I will freely say that I have heard of nothing like this. It is just something that I would imagine would be really interesting. We have so many different types of motorized vehicles that are popping up on the golf cart path. We have the electric bikes, we have the scooters, we have the golf carts, we have all of these things on the path. But when, with 11,000 carts out there, it does introduce a little bit of concern around safety and making sure that our code enforcement officers and police officers can get to people and can get information that's needed to help us maintain the safety on those carts. So what types of technologies could we implement in order to help us with that? I know with cars, you have technology in the plates that allow certain tracking to occur. I don't think that we have anything like that for golf carts, but what types of technology might be out there to help us with that? So I would love to do some research on that and to work with teams to help us identify opportunities for improvement in that area. Yeah.
Well, one of the major problems with data centers is that by the time you look around, they're already building one. And I think public notification and transparency in government should be a requirement. Will you support stronger public notification and transparency that goes what you just said, requirement before major zoning development and land use?
Well, I believe that transparency is absolutely key. One of the pillars of my campaign is listening to constituents. You cannot listen to them if they don't know what's going on, if you're not in communication with them. I believe that legally we do have good ordinances in place that require the community to be informed about important issues that are coming up for discussion or vote. I think the issue, Maggie, is that people are living their lives. Mm-hmm. They're going about their day-to-days, and they're not necessarily plugged into the newspaper article that says a public hearing is going to be held today. Maybe the newsletters that are coming out from local municipalities, the social media posts that are coming up to say, hey, we're going to be talking about this particular issue. I know from my experience in Peachtree City that there were so many times that people came back and said, I didn't know that y'all were going to be talking about
this.
But
now with so much technology and your new projects that you're going to bring to the table, definitely everybody will know that what's going on and what you bring to the table. Well, that's excellent.
Yeah, only if they're looking at it. So what I am telling people that I am committed to making sure that I implement as much many new things to make sure that I am plugged in with constituents. You will hear from me. I will make sure that you know what's going on. If you're plugged in with me, I will make sure that you are alerted when we have those issues that are coming up for discussion and vote. It's critically important.
Yes. Well, what type of businesses and economic development should Fayette County do right now? Are there certain types of development you will oppose because you believe they could threaten the character and quality of life of Fayette County?
Well, listening to constituents is key. I think as we think about the types of development that we want in the county and in District 3, it really depends on what are the desires of constituents. We would have to look at things like, do you want to have, what do you want to do? How do you want to repurpose existing buildings that are not occupied right now? What types of creative things can we do? I mean, Peachtree City, for the most part, is pretty landlocked and built out. But we do have vacancies. And what can we creatively do with those vacancies? Should we have a push for small businesses to take advantage of those? And how can we incentivize small businesses to take up residence in some of those buildings? Are there residential?
Well, we need to start with licensing because it's so expensive to pay for those licenses.
For the licenses
yes.
to build and develop.
Yeah, business like this pays a lot in license.
Yeah. And that gets back to that incentivizing small business.
Yes.
One of the things that we must do, Peachtree City is a village-based municipality, and you have these villages where people want to live, work, and play, and that really does focus more on small businesses than these big boxes.
Yep.
So it's so important that we make sure that small businesses have the resources that they need in order to operate, to stay afloat, and to flourish. We also, how can we help them? That's what we have to do. And also, I really think talking to constituents about what types of things would you like to see. I've talked to so many people out on the path who want an arts district, who would like to see, who would like to see an aquatic center in the county, who are very excited about the fact that we have our new public health facility and that we are building a new senior center. We are putting those services in that people want. And I think being in conversation with people about that is key at all times. So.
It's like you said, what people want.
What the people want.
Yes. Chandra, campaign promises are easy to make. Governing is much harder. If you were elected Fayette County Commissioner for District 3, give me 3 specific, measurable accomplishments that you want to accomplish.
Well, after being elected and having people to take a look at my first term, I want them to ask themselves these questions. Have I provided and expanded opportunities for you to communicate with me and to the commission about your needs and concerns? Is that measurable? Yes. Have you seen an increase in it? Number 2, has your community improved? Do you still feel that you are in a protected environment? Do you feel like the community is better off do you feel like your quality of life is improved based on how I've governed, based on how I've voted, based on how I've built coalitions, based on the opportunities that I've been able to bring to you in the community through my work on the commission? Can you count and see the amount? Can you see the growth? Can you measure the growth?
Right.
And then the third thing I would say is, can you say that every bit of information you got from me, everything, was based on fact?
And transparency.
Were you able to get information from me that you could genuinely use and trust? Because you knew that if Chandra Wright brought it to you, it was going to be grounded in fact. That's measurable.
Yes.
And I want people to be able to say that about me at the end, that she will tell us the truth.
That's excellent.
Mm-hmm.
That's excellent.
Mm-hmm.
Well, before we close, I always like to give my guest a final word. Look at that camera and tell the voters of Fayette County what they should vote for you. And if you are still undecided, listen to her.
Well, thank you for this opportunity, Maggie. It has been wonderful being in the hot seat with you.
Yeah.
I just want to let voters know that I am a public servant. I believe very sincerely that it is about serving the people, and it is what I have been doing, and it is what I will continue to do. I have the experience. I am the only candidate in this race who has actually worked in local government. I've had the opportunity to learn with hands-on experience how we need to manage land, how we need to work with politicians, how we need to engage with the community, and what things are required for us in order to just govern well and to enact good policy. And I also took the time to go back to school because having good policy that is grounded in facts and research and information that I've ascertained from other municipalities and other connections, that's you have to be able to not just develop policy that's based on right now, right here and now, but you want to enact good policy that's going to reduce risk and that's going to allow us to be able to govern well and be grounded in good policy long term. So I am committed to the people of District 3. I'm committed to the people of Fayette County in providing all of those things to you. I ask for your vote. You can find more information about me at my website, www.vote4chandra.com. Please visit me on my social media sites, and I will see you out on the campaign trail. I'm looking forward to listening to all of you, getting information on what matters to you, and being able to earn your vote.
Thank you, Chandra Wright, for coming to the hot seat.
Thank you.
This has been wonderful.
Thank you. I've enjoyed it.
Oh
Thank you
my
for
God.
the questions.
You really had a beautiful background, educational background that I know is going to bring the citizens of Fayette County a great leader.
Thank you.
I don't have any doubt about it. Well, to our viewers, elections should be about, not about politics, but also about what the candidates bring to the table. It's important that you visit the candidates' website because that way you can learn about them. Go to their events so you could ask them questions directly. And most important, exercise the right to vote.
Yes.
Election has consequences. So make sure you are registered to vote and go out and vote. This is Maggy Martinez, the Hot Seat Interview. Until next time.